Who the hell can wait till morning? Talk now at latenightsportsradio.com.
I'll get the guns, the drugs, from my generation, I'll take the fall, the states, and across the nation, and it's a sin, the guns, the fake, the fraud, the messing with me, come on, let's get it on.
All right, hello. Come on in, sit down, and let's talk some wrestling, shall we? It's Tuesday, it's February. More importantly, it's Tuesday, and that means that it's time for the Hold 1005 podcast. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Brandy, also known as Ryan Taylor Girl. I'm an Aries. I like the color blue. Cats are my spirit animal, and I had to tell my friend Lana why there was old lady porn in the Tumblr tag for Golden Girls today.
And the other co-host, the other half of this duo, Robbie S. I am a Capricorn. I also like the color blue. And at times, I am more than tired. I'm a sleepy boy.
Yes, and it's also so very much fun. I can't believe it's February already. It's crazy. But we are also officially on the road to WrestleMania. We're on our way to Fastlane, which is a throwaway pay-per-view if anybody knows any better. So we're going to talk about the Season 2 premiere of Lucha Underground. And this week it was also announced that Lucha Underground's been picked up for Season 3 already.
Yeah, apparently they got all of the cast and crew from Lucha Underground and told them good news. So we are indeed going to be treated to Season 3 once this wraps up.
Exactly. They just finished filming the Ultima Lucha, the finale, this past week, and I guess it's going to be pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
So, but why don't we start back, at the beginning of Season 2, since it just started. So, at the end of last season, Dario Cueto and Black Lotus are on the lam. They are on the run with Dario Cueto's brother Matanza because Black Lotus killed, what was that guy's name?
Black Lotus killed, what was it, Matanza?
No, it wasn't Matanza because that's Dario Cueto's brother.
Right, that's Azteca?
Azteca, there we go. So, they're on the lam, they're on the run from the law, and Katrina and Mil Muertes, who is our Lucha Underground champion, have taken over. They are in charge, which means that we're at the will of the mistress of the Lake of Death. Vampiro has been released from the mental institution, claiming that his violent tendencies have been put under control once again. So he has once again joined the announced team with Matt Stryker, who is Robbie's least favorite person in the universe.
He does well as a commentator. I can respect him for his professional work. But yeah, with that out of the way, I thought that this opening to the show was very strong. Not just the way it was shot, because Lucha Underground is shot very well. The production value is great, but just the fact that Vampiro still has these violent tendencies. He's sitting down in the psych ward talking to the doctor, and while the doctor is speaking, Vampiro is envisioning him pummeling this poor son of a bitch, and you have these attendants from the hospital trying to intervene, but they're getting destroyed. It sets the mood for what should be a very shocking, entertaining show about professional wrestling.
Indeed. So once we transition from, Vampiro getting his release from the mental hospital, Phoenix, who is the Gift of the Gods champion, is asking to cash in his Gift of the Gods championship. The Gift of the Gods championship, you have to give 1 week's notice so they can be properly promoted. But Katrina decides to book him against King Cuerno first to defend his Gift of the Gods championship, because even if they say yes, which she didn't say yes or no, you have to defend that championship.
And it does add to the stakes that the Gift of the Gods title has. I mean, keep in mind that you had to have first won a medal in order to qualify for that big multi-person, multi-luchador match at Ultima Lucha. So now Phoenix, it could be argued that he has a bigger target on his back now that he is the Gift of the Gods champion, or rather was Gift of the Gods champion.
So I haven't seen Ultima, quite behind on things, but I don't have access to. So, but I'm understanding that this was a very good match between Phoenix and King Cuerno. King Cuerno can't decide if he's a luchador or a ranchero. Because he's wearing like the old Western style, like the cowboy.
I think it works for him. You know, it's a pretty cool look that he's got going on. You don't see that.
Well, as entertaining as that is, Brandy, are you there? We're experiencing technical difficulties. We'll be right back with the Hold 1005 podcast here on Late Night Sports Radio.
Who the hell can wait till morning? Talk now at latenightsportsradio.com.
So apparently our awesomeness and Lucha Underground was too much, and Skype shit the bed, or my phone shit the bed, or something happened. So technical difficulties notwithstanding, we're back.
Yeah, something stinky happened.
Exactly. Well, what was not stinky was Mil Muertes, and sitting up at the very top of the temple in this throne, this like Game of Thrones like throne, sitting up there like he's fucking Xerxes, preening over his people.
I actually like this. It did make Mil Muertes as Lucha Underground champion feel more important, sort of like this monarch watching over gladiators trying to kill each other for his entertainment. It was pretty cool. I like this touch.
That is a good comparison. So now King Cuerno has the Gift of the Gods Championship. We'll have to see if he's going to wait, if he's going to defend his title, if he's going to demand his match. What's going to happen?
It does seem like he's in cahoots with Katrina because, there was like, we made a deal. And Cuerno's like, you have nothing to worry about, and neither does Mil. So, alliance, subterfuge in the future, who's to say?
We'll have to wait and see. Next, we see Team Havoc, Angelico, Ivelisse, Son of Havoc come in and demand their rematch for the Lucha Underground Trios match. And Katrina's like, no. And she puts them in a three-way match against each other.
And the winner would go on to face Mil Muertes for the Lucha Underground title in the main event afterward. So stakes are high, and it goes to show that Katrina is trying to break up Team Havoc.
We should say that when she made the match, she didn't tell them that it was going to be immediately after the match. She just told them that they're going to get a shot at Mil Muertes. And what I like about Lucha Underground is they usually portray Ivelisse and women in the way of they're just smaller, they're equal to the men.
They are, and it's not just like, oh, they're telling us they're women, they're great. No, they actually show it. They show that these women can hang.
Exactly, and it was a very wonderful match. It's something definitely worth looking up to see, because you have Ivelisse, one of the most talented females that's not in WWE right now.
Mm-hmm.
Son of Havoc, Matt Cross, look-alike. Obviously, really hella talented, and Angelico, the world-traveled, sexy South African sensation that likes to jump off of things.
And it does go to show how unique all three of these competitors were, because I thought that they brought a unique element to the match, each one. Angelico being the fast-paced luchador, Son of Havoc with his fighting spirit, never say die attitude, and Ivelisse with her cunning mindset. Everybody brought something unique. It didn't feel like I was just watching three faceless, nameless competitors.
Indeed. And who manages to come out on top but Ivelisse?
Yeah, she interrupted that shooting star press from Havoc and just rolled up Angelico quickly for that win.
Got to keep that mind sharp. And then Katrina kind of breaks our bubble of celebrating that Ivelisse has won and says that Ivelisse gets her match against Mil Muertes right now.
And she didn't even get her boys to help her out, because Son of Havoc and Angelico were taken out even before the match started by the Disciples of Death, the current Trios champions. Mm. So it was just straight up Mil Muertes versus Ivelisse.
And just not even Ivelisse getting a moment to breathe to try and use some of her talents against someone like Mil Muertes, just him destroying her.
And he definitely destroyed her. If there was any doubt, Ivelisse was the underdog in this match, being thrown around left and right, trying to muster any sort of comeback. And the crowd was feeding into it. They loved this match, as did I.
Love Ivelisse.
Yeah, and And you got to consider, Ivelisse is the first lady wrestler to compete for the Lucha Underground title, which I think works perfectly because I couldn't imagine anyone better. Because I know Sexy Star is, sort of like the female face of Lucha Underground, and while she's great, I like her. I don't know if anyone can hold a candle to Ivelisse.
Mm-mm. But if you want a visual, if you guys remember when China debuted in 1996 and the way that she picked up little Terry Runnels as Marlena and just like flailed her around like a rag doll, picture that. Because that's about the same size, and that's pretty much what happened.
It was because despite Ivelisse trying as hard as she could, trying to use every opportunity, Muertes ultimately got the better of her, hitting the flatliner to retain his title.
Indeed, and it took both Prince Puma and Pentagon Jr. coming out to kind of save Ivelisse.
No. Correction. Prince Puma saved Ivelisse. Pentagon Jr. kind of just swept in behind Mil Muertes at the end, hit him with a backstabber, and proceeded to do what he had done to many helpless competitors in the past: break his damn arm.
Which I think everybody really reacted really well to. Everybody loved that.
They did. And would it be fair to say that Pentagon Jr. is now positioned as the tweener of Lucha Underground? Because last season, it was clear that he was a heel, targeting Sexy Star in particular, threatened to set Vampiro on fire. It was clear that Pentagon was the heel, the big bad if it wasn't Mil Muertes. This time around, though, the lines are blurred a little bit, wouldn't you say?
He's more the anti-hero now. He's still a bad guy. He's still sneaking up from behind, but
He's out for himself.
He's out for himself, but it's the enemy of my enemy is my friend, Grasshopper.
Ah, now there's a line to be heard. Overall, though, I thought this was a very strong introduction to Lucha Underground's second season, but it wouldn't be over until we got the appearance from Dario Cueto at the end.
This is true, but we should also make mention of the fact of Vampiro's reaction when Pentagon Jr. came out. So
Yeah.
I don't think they're done. This story is not finished.
No, because you have to consider those two had a hell of a fight at Ultima Lucha last season, and it does seem like while they're not enemies as so much anymore, there's still that bad blood. I would say I don't think that those two are done with each other. Like you said, I could see them having another brawl or two down the road.
Hopefully. Now, of course, as Robbie mentioned, this episode ends with us finally getting a glimpse of the man whose temple we've been in for the evening, Dario Cueto, and he's in an unknown location, and he's seen arranging fights for people to fight against his brother Matanza.
Much to their horror, because we saw three dudes who were just driving along pay Dario Cueto to fight. Dario Cueto opens the door for him with his big key, and the three helpless individuals step in before being ripped apart by Dario Cueto's feral brother. And this goes to show that they weren't kidding when they said you would see more deaths in Lucha Underground, off screen or otherwise. Three people died so far.
These three people died, definitely. And it'll be interesting to see if Azteca is really dead, because we aren't really sure. We're pretty sure that he's dead, but we don't know.
No, and there's still a lot to look forward to. I mean, we have Prince Puma going after Mil Muertes, Pentagon Jr.'s pursuit of the title, King Cuerno potentially turning against Katrina, Rey Mysterio coming in, whether it's as just a character or a performer, or an in-ring performer, we don't really know. I haven't seen any of the spoilers, so I can't speak to that. But there is a lot to be said about Lucha Underground in the future, and you can be certain we're going to cover it.
Oh, of course, because it airs on El Rey tomorrow night, and it's usually up online, the night after, and I still just haven't gotten my
Yeah.
butt over to watch it yet.
You should, and you guys should, if you've been looking for an alternative to WWE, New Japan, etc. This is your ticket.
Indeed, it is. And there's just other little tidbits. Nakamura has arrived
Mhm.
in the United States. His merchandise has been taken down off of Pro Wrestling Tees. That was effective January 31st. It's also been announced that AJ Styles' merchandise will be taken down as of February 19th. So if you wanted to get anything AJ Styles, a lot of the other Bullet Club things will be staying up, but anything like specific to AJ will be coming down.
And I think this move persuaded a lot of people to buy that King of Strong Style shirt if they haven't done so already, you and I included.
Which we both did.
We did. Mine shipped today, so I'm more than happy.
And Nakamura was set to be like the headliner, like the crown jewel for ROH's event in Las Vegas, the 14th anniversary show,
Mhm.
is Kenny Omega.
And how amazing is that? Because from what I've heard,
He
Kenny Omega,
rarely competes in the States.
yeah, and Kenny Omega and Ring of Honor supposedly have bad blood, or had bad blood. So it seems like that water's under the bridge.
Hopefully. I mean,
Hey, for those who were seeing that ROH show, you guys are in for a treat.
well, I know a lot of people were upset. They're like, oh man, we're going all the way to Las Vegas. Like, I know a lot of people from Los Angeles were going to make the drive, make the trek, and, no Nakamura. But Okada's going to be there too. Okada and Gedo going to be there.
Kato and Geto. And so you're going to get your New Japan fix, even though it's not specifically the King of Strong Style.
Exactly. Unfortunately, we're going to go on to some sadder news. Kurt Angle has officially had his last match in TNA. There was a clip that's been going around of his last match, his last hurrah. And Bret Hart announced just yesterday that he is actually currently battling cancer. He has prostate cancer.
Yeah. And to say this is unfortunate would be an understatement, especially when you think about everything that's happened to him in his personal life, family members dying, whether they're in the wrestling business specifically or not. And, when you look back at 2002 when he suffered that stroke, which left him partially immobile for a time, it's a very sad story because, when you look back at the Hart family, there are very few happy moments. If you go online and you look at them. So it was unfortunate to hear about this news, but it does seem like Bret Hart is dead set on beating this thing, and I hope he does. I have faith in him.
They do. I do too. Bret Hart was one of my heroes growing up. And it's very sobering because you think of these people as just larger than life, comic book characters. And, it's one thing to see them have to retire and get older, but to have something like cancer where something could actually take them away.
Yeah.
And it's really scary.
And we've already dealt with, I feel like, too many deaths in the public eye already, with David Bowie, Abe Vigoda being a couple of examples. I don't want to see Bret Hart die too.
And just in the last year in wrestling, we've had so many big names. We lost Dusty Rhodes, Roddy Piper. No. We can't lose Bret, not right now. But he's
No.
gonna fight.
He is. So apparently he'll be undergoing surgery in the next day or so. So best of luck to the Hitman.
Yes, keep him in your thoughts. Think positive healing thoughts so they can go in and get the tumor and take care of all that.
Yeah, and also I've heard that Blackjack Mulligan was hospitalized in Florida earlier in the week. The specifics of that are currently unknown, but that's the reason why this past Raw, neither Bo Dallas nor Bray Wyatt were on television. They were at Florida to be with the family.
hmm Yep. I saw Barry Windham posted something about keeping him in your thoughts and prayers on his Facebook page. So,
Though the Social
but
Outcasts did explain Bo's absence. Pretty funny. They said he was busy cutting some new rhymes, so Flo Rida better watch his ass.
which is a good way to put it.
Yeah, because
That's it.
I,
He's a
I heard that like one hip hop magazine said that Bo Rider had a better freestyle than Flo Rida did.
oh my lord.
Yeah, and if you look back on it, Bo was better. He was a superior rapper. Flo Rida really didn't do it for me.
Well, Flo Rida doesn't do it for a lot of people anyway.
Yeah, it's sort of like
That's just me.
it's sort of like being on a
'Cause
sex hotline and sitting there with a flaccid penis. Not that I would know by experience, but I'm just assuming that's how it goes. I'm
for for
oof.
once, I am not the sole reason for having to check the explicit content box.
Guess who's going to hell?
Yes.
Robbie. Robbie's going. Well, a lot of people, but mostly
All right.
mostly Robbie.
Yay! We're going to hell.
Two sound
At least
cues.
we won't be cold anymore.
Well, hey, considering what we've been dealing with as of late on Long Island, I'll be more than happy to accept some warmth.
Well, speaking of hell, why don't we go into the other pit of hell? Politics. Now, we had the Iowa
Oh,
caucus
wait,
yesterday.
wait. You didn't bring Donald Trump, did you?
No,
No, you didn't
he's
bring him.
locked up in the trunk of the car.
He better be. Shit. Wait, hold on.
Now, Donald Trump.
Hold on. You got a gold hair on your shirt.
No, God!
Oh,
No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Keith has everything, doesn't he?
Keith has everything. Keith is our producer. Keith is wonderful. Who saved us when, technical difficulties.
And he's
But
good
yes,
for the occasional sound
Donald
cue.
Trump lost in Iowa. I think at least half the country was partying.
Yeah, Ted Cruz curb stomped him, proverbially.
Pretty much, yeah. So I thought that it would be kind of cool to talk about which wrestlers could we see as politicians, and what would the world be like?
And to say this is going to be a
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
but yes, wrestlers and politics. They go
Now,
together
wrestlers
like
in politics it's not nothing new. I mean, Jesse the Body Ventura was governor of Minnesota.
but that's like an outlier. You know what I mean? Otherwise, they go together like peanut butter and cyanide. Enjoy.
But
Son
I
of a
thought,
bitch is
'cause
dug in
there's
like an
got-
Alabama tick.
You're hit. You're bleeding, man.
I ain't got time to bleed.
Love them. But yes, wrestlers who make good
There are
politicians.
there are two classes I thought we would go with. Number one is actual wrestlers, people that would make good politicians.
Mhm.
And then there would be wrestling characters who we'd like to see as politicians because it would be funny.
Okay.
So for wrestlers who would be actually good at being a politician, Vicky pointed out that Ken Anderson, otherwise known as Mr. Anderson or Mr. Kennedy,
hmm
Kennedy, would be would be a good politician. And I have to think that she's right because he's charismatic. He's got a lot of a presence about him. He's very intelligent. He's always up on everything that's going on in the world. And I think he would be a good politician. And you can't get injured being a politician. Except
Or
for your
get
ego.
or get released because you backdropped a wrestler the wrong way.
And you're using steroids.
Poor Ken Anderson.
I love you, Mr. Anderson. So that's where I thought I'd start. And then a character that I think would be hilarious as a politician would be Eric Bischoff's sleazy, authoritarian character as the president. That would be hilarious.
Those are pretty good choices. I never would have considered those to be presidential choices, but there you go.
I think it'd be hilarious. So what about you? When you're thinking about, because there's so many great characters. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
everyone's always thought of Vince as president. Vince as president, I would move to Canada.
Yeah, I think as far as uh, maybe specific wrestlers, like people in wrestling who would make good presidents, I would say Glenn Jacobs, aka Kane. That would be a good example because, if you've seen videos of him outside of the ring when he's doing conferences and stuff, he's very well spoken. He understands what he's talking about. I think he considers himself a libertarian, if I'm not mistaken. So he already has that going for him. So it's not like he'd be lost in politics at all. If anything, he'd probably be one of the better candidates.
That is very interesting. He was also one of the last wrestlers standing on when the WWE stars were on the show The Weakest Link.
Mhm.
Because he's very, very smart. He's very articulate. He doesn't, obviously his character is very imposing and he doesn't get the chance to be very articulate, but
Yeah, he got to
I
do it
think
when he was
that's a good
corporate Kane.
option.
Got to do it when he
This
was
is true,
corporate.
but now he's back to being regular Kane.
He is. Another wrestler who I think, wrestler in terms of a person, who I think would make a good president or presidential candidate, Damian Sandow. Because when I think of Sandow,
Yes.
at least in terms of like overall appeal, and I'm not exactly the biggest, I wouldn't say I don't support Bernie Sanders, but I'm not like hardcore like a lot of other people are. I think that Damian Sandow and Sanders share a couple of qualities. They have good ideas in mind. They have the backing of a sort of a louder minority, a louder handful of people, but they don't really have the backing of those that have high finances or have a lot of power. It seems like they're sort of built on this groundswell of support.
It's this grassroots kind of a movement. If you're on Tumblr, you can see the grassroots Damian Sandow movement.
Yes, and believe it or not, Damian Sandow's fan base is not nearly as hectic as Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, Ambrains. And no, Ambrains is not a zombie term. Ambrains.
Yes, on Raw in the New Day segment, they Xavier Woods acknowledged the fact that he knows what goes on social media in terms of fan fiction and what people ship, and that the fact that Ambrose and Reigns ship together are Ambrains.
Yeah, so thanks New Day for encouraging that behavior. God damn it.
So obviously they have too much time on the internet. But yes, Damian Sandow, the underground movement of Tumblr. Bernie Sanders, the underground movement of politics.
Yes, and once again, while I'm not the avid Bernie Sanders supporter a lot of other people are, I do recognize his good ideas. I think that he does have good intentions in mind. It's just a matter of how those unfold.
Exactly. And I think Damian Sandow would have those good concepts, even if his original ideas are not feasible. You have to start with a concept to know what you want to do. And then you get down to the brass tacks and you figure out what you can do.
Yeah, exactly. You can't become
Is he old enough
Damien.
to run yet?
I don't know, but you cannot become Damien Mizdow without first dressing in a skin-tight leotard with a streamer. Yeah, I guess.
Apparently.
I guess.
But yeah, is he old enough to run yet? Is he over 35? I don't think so. Darn it.
He should be. I don't know.
Wait a minute. Let's ask Siri, shall we?
Okay.
Siri, how old is Damien Sandow?
Damien Sandow is 33.
He's 33.
So just shy. Just shy.
He is, and he is from Worcester. He's from Worcester, Massachusetts. Okay, I like him even better now.
Worcester?
He's from Worcester.
Worcester is a rooster from Brewster.
Yeah, I like people from Massachusetts because I'm a New England fan. So.
Hold 1005, your source for cheesy ass jokes.
Yes. Do the walking. Do walking.
What? You want me to do walking?
Yes.
Keith's got a fever. The only prescription is more cowbell. Keith, your sounds don't come across as very genuine. I mean, you do these the children cheering, and you got The Office. What else you got?
You know who I am?
You're Keith. Your name's Keith.
I hid this uncomfortable hunk of metal up my ass 2 years.
Huh. See, I don't have to do it anymore. he's got walking. Got walking.
It's only the argument. I'll not step aside. I will not allow any talking monkey. Take my place.
I'm the talking monkey.
Nice move. Beautifully done. Honey, you gotta come work for me. Upstairs.
I could get you in now. You love it. Nobody tells you when to go to bed. You eat all the ice cream you want. You get to kill. All day, all night. It's like an angel.
Can we just make the entire podcast just Christopher Walken sound bites? Because we can do that.
That would be hilarious. That would be fun. But yes. This,
Han Solo screen
podcast-
test. Okay, Chris, whenever you're ready.
I'm captain of the Millennium Falcon. Chewie here tells me you're looking for passage to the Alderaan system.
Yes, indeed. If it's a fast ship.
Fast ship? You've never heard of the Millennium Falcon?
I think we better move on before we
descend into more laughter. Yes, so Damien Sandow is 2 years away from being eligible to run for president. So that means in 2 more years, when it's time for the next presidential election, he could run.
And hopefully he saves us unwashed masses at that point.
Yes. Okay, now what about characters that would make funny politicians?
Characters that would make funny politicians now. That's a good one. I think if you want to look at characters that would make funny politicians, I don't know if this would be funny so much as effective, but maybe Triple H, because I could see this being like a school of two.
COO Triple H or DX Triple H?
I want to say COO Triple H, mainly because I think that you have 2 different personalities with Triple H the character. You have Triple H from NXT, who's proud of the product. He's energetic. He loves the air of this brand he's created. Then you have main roster Triple H, kind of grumpy, cynical, just not very pleasant to be around. I can see that dual personality being very interesting in the Oval Office.
This is true. And then you have DX Triple H, who would just be sophomoric and hilarious.
Yeah, you just have him going off and telling a bunch of inappropriate jokes. Then you'd have Jezebel, BuzzFeed, and all those other bullshit publications going off about him being problematic. It'd be crazy.
He'd have somebody under the desk.
Right, just somebody, give him the old Monica Lewinsky treatment, if you know what I'm saying, kids, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Yes, that's something.
For the record, I could play something Clinton Lewinsky related, but I won't.
Good, because I think we've already went over the explicit quota.
Bob and Tom had a parody. It was Lewinsky and Clinton singing "You Don't Give Me Hummers Anymore."
Oh my god.
We won't play that tonight. Find it on the internet, kids.
Yes, find it on the internet. Google is your friend.
That's your homework, kids. What about you?
Let's see. What are the characters? You know what'd be hilarious is because it would be inappropriate and just, it's like on The Office. You'd look at the camera like, what the fuck is going on? Gold Dust.
Ooh, now there. Wow, I'm trying to imagine Goldust in a three-piece suit, sitting down behind an American flag.
Well, first of all, he would have black pants and a black shirt,
Mm-hmm.
a gold sports coat, and a gold tie.
Oh.
Cowboy tie for Dusty, you know.
What kind of politician would he be? Would he be the kind of politician who goes on about gun control or equal pay in the workplace? Like, I don't even know what he would... I'm trying to think about this.
You know who his vice president would be?
Who?
Stardust.
You sure?
Either
Sure,
that or Ron Killings.
I think I like Stardust better. I don't know if R-Truth could handle. I think R-Truth would go into the Oval Office and be like, "All right, President Clinton, I got your papers here." It's like, Clinton's been out of office for like years now. Oh, I'm sorry, my bad.
Cigars.
My bad. Y'all good now. But
okay,
yeah,
off topic because we're talking about characters, but another person who'd be good at politics, Titus O'Neil.
you know, that would actually make a lot of sense because the guy has been getting a lot of good press as of late. And he does come across as somebody who you could see as your face of any sort of cause. Who's to say he couldn't be a politician, a good one?
I think he could. Let's see, who would also be just over the top? Like, this could only happen in a book or a movie because it's so ridiculous.
Maybe The New Day, all three. They could be
rotate.
president.
They take turns.
Yeah, the Freebird rule applies to the tag titles. Why not?
The Freebird rule. The
why-
Freebird rule applies to the presidency.
Yeah, I mean, it could work there, right? We can make it happen.
I mean, instead of the State of the Union, we could just have a whole day of up, up, down, down.
You know, I can see that happening. You know, we don't have to talk about. I'm not talk about all this crap. Let's just play video games.
Yes, solve the world problems. Play video games.
Yeah, just play some old Super Nintendo video games. Maybe a little bit of Mario. I mean, when you have Mario, who has to talk about the bad in the country?
Exactly. And now, let's see. If we had to pick a woman that we would want as president, who would you pick out of the divas?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with Sasha Banks.
You go with Sasha Banks? Well, she
Yes.
is the boss. She would get things done.
She would get things done. She would show everybody who's boss.
You know who I'd want?
Who?
Stephanie McMahon, so I could have a better excuse to leave the country. Yeah, I'm sorry, people. I don't like Stephanie McMahon at all. She does nothing for me.
To draw a parallel with Hillary Clinton, I like her as a person, as a human.
Okay.
I like her. I like her children more. But I like her as a person.
Okay.
I don't like her as a politician or as an on-air personality.
You take away from everything. You don't make things better. You detract from the appeal, and you would detract from the livability of the United States.
And you just make yourself look silly.
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine Stephanie just tweeting about whips and nays and all that crap? It'd be crazy.
And that's like Hillary's trying to be like, oh, my campaign's on fleek, yo. It's like, no. Step away from the internet. Stop trying to be young and hip.
Yeah, I mean, you're a mom. You should not do that at all.
Exactly. Let's see. But no, pick a real diva to.
Yeah. Let's not do the jokes. As far as a real diva that I'd like to see in that position, I would like to say Bailey, because let's face it, the United States needs to be a little more positive.
Exactly. I think she would just be like, let's hug everybody.
Right? Like, you wanna take care of some world crisis? Just have the two leaders hug it out. It'll be good.
Hug it out.
Just hug it out. Maybe you'll get a headband or a slap band. Who knows?
In Bailey, we trust.
Now that I could see on a $1 bill.
Exactly. And on that note, I think we'll call it a night.
Wait,
Next week, we'll see you right here.
Wait. Can I do it? Can I close them out?
Sure. Go for it.
Okay. This is Christopher Walken, back here once again. I'd like to thank you for watching the Hold 1005 podcast. And we'll be back here next week with more wrestling and maybe some other hijinks. Who's to say, right? Okay, have a good night. The show's over. Go away. Go fuck yourself. We're done.
We'll see you right here on Late Night Sports Radio.
And go fuck yourself.